Howdy y'all friends, welcome to Overnight in Camp Lockdown. You know me, I had to pick the perfect weather conditions for this. Right now the temperature is 60 degrees out. When the front passes through, we're supposed to get around 40, 45. Possibility of severe weather here in about an hour to 2 hours, with straight line winds anywhere from 30 to 50 miles an hour. But at the moment, it's 100 miles out, so that could change. And yes, it's been raining since last night. It started at 11 o'clock and just hasn't quit. I got a small break this morning and was able to bring all the gear in here and seal her up before it started raining again. So let me take you a tour around the dome and show you everything. Okay, the first thing you're noticing is this tarp. Underneath the tarp is my sleep system. Why is it tarped up? Because I keep finding little pinholes in the dome cover, and every once in a while some water will drip down, and I do not want my sleep system to get wet, because you know sleeping in a wet sleeping bag is not fun. And underneath that we're using a shipping blanket. These are awesome for winter camping. They retain heat like you wouldn't believe. Underneath that, we've got a very old Coleman sleeping bag. I bought this thing when I was 18 years old, and I still have it. You're going to find this kind of interesting. We have the fleece blanket, but underneath, well, in between the fleece blanket, we have high-density foam. I use this stuff for when I build amp racks to protect the gear, and this makes a great barrier between you and the ground or whatever you put it on. And another thing is, when it gets warm, it turns into memory foam, and for some reason I just lost my video feed. We'll check on that in a minute. Then we're sleeping on top of a Coleman Cot. I bought this last year for Jessica because we were doing a bunch of car camping and she will not sleep on the ground, and this will be the first time I get to use it. And I'm going to take this sucker to meetups too if I like it. We'll see. Let's get this little guy covered back up. And I just heard thunder off into the distance. Alright, let's get over here to the electronics section, and we'll see why we lost our feed. We got a bad connection. Yeah, there she goes. Anyway, down here we got all our electronics, and we got power ran into the house. This is basically powering up the security system, the little bitty monitor, which will run off battery for about an hour, and this fan. And we'll talk about the fan here in a little bit. As you know, the dome does not have any windows in it, and I'd like to see if anybody's trying to get to the door or if it's just a pesky raccoon. So I went ahead and mounted an old security camera right there in the vent section. Now I bet you're looking at the floor pan, not floor pan. This is a very interesting design, and I'll show you why I have it made like this. Nobody's seen this before. This is something from another project. Actually, I think this one has been the Burning Man because it stunk when I opened it up. But anyway, this is so we can have the sides of the dome open like this, and then we have it tied up to the struts. And what it's doing is allowing air to come into the dome, so we get fresh air cycled through here, so we don't get a lot of condensation. Also, it comes in real freaking handy when you're running the heater, buddy. Believe it or not, right now that thing on I think it's on medium is heating this dome, and later on we'll shut this sucker off. It's just basically this is squirrel cage fan is what we're using. It's on low right now, and it's blowing the air up to the top and then making the heat bubble move. Part of it moves down, cycles throughout the dome, and then it cycles from the air out the front door there and keeps it fresh. Of course, we're using the heater, buddy. It is on a milk crate, because if I set this down on the poly tarp, it will melt because there's a lot of downwards heat coming out of this. I don't want that to happen, so we're going to put it on the milk crate. And of course, an old Coleman chair. Underneath there we got our cooler, fire extinguisher, protection. Billy Joe, you know what that container is for. I think it was 40 something degrees outside when we came in. Well, almost, it was about 50, we'll say 50 or 49. Inside of the dome it is 66. And then we got this little guy. We just brought some cooking utensils. We're only going to be in here in a night and a day, so I didn't really bring that much. But let's kick this little guy out again. There we go. A couple Karl's creations that we might have for dinner tonight. I'm not sure. I'm not really that hungry yet. And so on and so forth. For illumination, I'm using these old UFO lights. You used to be able to buy these at Wally World at the camping section. Unfortunately, they discontinued them. These will last a whole weekend. Use them in at night because they take 4 AA batteries. I like them because they've got a little hole right there, and right there I put a piece. Actually, I got a video on this somewhere. I got a piece of aluminum, 2 pieces of Velcro on there. You stick the light on there, and then the bolt and the nut go right through the hole. And they work perfectly. All right, I think the next thing I'm going to do is kind of check for some leaks, because when I did come in here, that little guy was leaking right there, and I'm actually using the heat from the heater, buddy, to seal that tape up a little better. In fact, yeah, there's still some water and condensation. I think what I'm going to do is turn the fan off and let it get a little bit warmer. Then we'll stick another piece of tape on. Let's see what else we got. The good thing is the way the cover is angled, most of the water drips off and runs down the side on the other, and then on the other side of the floor pan, so we don't have that problem of filling up with water. I think I'm going to go with a spot of tea, and I brought all my cylinders with me that are about half full or almost empty, so we can burn these out. One little problem: this table is very freaking slick. And I do not want anything sliding off of it and burning me or the floor pan. So we're just going to apply a little duct tape to the bottom here, so we won't have that problem. Like so. And don't have to worry about it sliding away. For the stove, I'm going to go ahead and bring the Coleman in, the old Peak 1 here. Love these things. In the rotation for the night. And if you're wondering, we got spam, Karl. I think this is the bacon I was talking about a little while. There it is. Bacon spam. And sausage rockets. Karl will know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, we got to be very careful with this stove here, because it does put out quite a bit of heat, and I want to make sure we do not burn the dome cover with it. All right, somewhere here we got, there we go. Nice. Oh, we got chocolate tea. You know what? I'm going to go with a relaxation tea tonight. A friend of mine turned me on to this stuff. It's really good. Alrighty then. Water storage. I got these from Mr. Cram. This used to be part of the water distillation system. And I kind of used it for a water containment system. Oh boy. Alright. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and put my tea in. And we'll let that come up to a nice little simmer and cut her down and have some nice relaxation tea. Finally, roaring bubble. Now we cannot set this on our table. It will burn a hole all the way through. Oh, that smells good. Even the towel will not help us. So what we do is we turn over our frying pan so that on top of there, shut that little guy down, and we're going to wait until it cools off, and we're going to have some nice tea. Oh, it just went in there. Come on. Oh, Lord have mercy. That tea was pretty good, and I'm feeling very relaxed now. So much so, I think I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to sleep good listening to all this rain. And a little bit of thunder. Let's check our temperature real quick. 61, not bad. Not bad at all. Well, I'll see you guys in the morning. For I am calling it. Good morning, friends. I slept pretty good last night. Only got woken up twice. Once the wind was blowing so freaking hard, the whole dome was vibrating. I was a little concerned. After that passed, I went back to bed, and then the birds freaking woke me up. They were very loud. And then back to bed I went. I got a low in here of, 49. I turned the heater on about half hour ago, and we're up to 60 right now. The outside low is 51. Still windy, still cloudy, still trying to get out of bed. Oh, that feels good. Okay, plans for now is I got to use the bucket, then clean up a little bit of my mess and figure out where all my clothes went. I think my jeans are in the sleeping bag here. Let's find out. Oh, I stayed warm in this sleeping bag. A little too warm, actually. Ah, there we go. Alright, so I'm going to get dressed real quick, and then we're going to figure out what I want to do next. 62 degrees. Time to get motivated. I'm noticing 2 leaks. There's a puddle here. So I think we got a leak up here somewhere I need to find. I'm not sure where. Oh, that's getting kind of warm. And then I found a very small puddle here. So we've got a leak up here. I've got a leak probably somewhere. That could be it, or that could be it. So probably somewhere in this area. Alrighty. Just opened up my pack. Found some double hot chocolate. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm going to do next. First, we need to move this heater over so I don't trip on it. We'll put it over there somewhere. And then I'm going to start taking the bed apart while the hot chocolate is cooking. Oh, look at this. Might have a leak there. I'll have to check. All right, let's get that double hot chocolate going. Look at all the condensation on these tanks. Important safety tip, and I learned this the hard way. After you take your tanks out, well, I guess it's not really a safety tip, it's just more of a maintenance thing. You want to depressurize the system. I found out during transport when I was driving through the mountains that if you don't, it'll blow out the regulator valve because of the elevation change. And so we're just going to let the pilot light run for a little bit until it depressurizes. This is the high density foam I was talking about, and I actually cut it for a different cot, but I broke it before I got this one. This stuff is so comfortable. And oh, what do we have here? That is moisture that it soaked up from the ground. Very interesting. We're definitely going to have to let that dry. I promise I didn't have any accidents. At least not that I know of. Anyway, about the cot here. It is the Coleman Trailhead 2 cot. It is capable of holding up to 300 pounds. I am 240, so I shouldn't have any problems in that department. Yes, I'm Fluffy, level 1. Extra wide. Here's the dimensions. And something I want to give you a heads up. If you don't have a very heavy duty floor pan for your tent, I recommend liberating these little carpet pieces right here, putting them underneath the cot, and basically what that does is keeping it from going through the floor of your tent. That's why I have the extra tarp down. I don't want to rip out the floor pan of the dome. That is some good double hot chocolate, friends. And hot. Anyway, not really hungry, but I do want to have a little something to eat, and I've been dying to try this out. This is Karl gifted this to me from Karl's Outdoor and Adventures, and it is his rice pudding. And there's all the instructions. Would you look how professional he is at this? Look at that. If you get a chance to check out his channel. And here is the dehydrated rice. And he included the raisins. So we are going to pour that in our cup. Like so. I wonder if you could eat that without dehydrating it. What I'm going to do is, I'm not sure how much water to use. So I'm going to fill it up until it just almost covers all the rice. Now Karl did a video on this. Oh wow, this water container is very full. What the heck? Careful. That should be about enough. Did a video on this, and what he did is he brought it up almost to a roaring bubble, brought it down to a very nice simmer. I have lost my lighter. Oh, here it is. And then let it simmer for about 5 minutes or until the pudding rehydrated. And then of course you have to start stirring it when it hits a simmer so it doesn't burn to the bottom. So this ought to be interesting. Started coming up to a bubble, backed it down a little bit, pulled it off the burner for a minute, and then I discovered we have a little bad spot I need to fix. I think something's clogging up one of the holes. Probably just hit that with a very small wire brush and fix it. Alright, now we're just going to have to stir this occasionally and wait for it to start hydrating. And once it gets to that point, we're going to throw the raisins in. I think for the most part it's hydrated, and you can tell if you look at the little rice has started puffing back up. I'm going to go ahead and throw in our raisins and try not to eat any. Get in there. Oh yeah. Oh, we lost one. Not cool. All the raisins. There we go. Then I'm going to put brown sugar in it after I do the first taste test. I'm going to see what it tastes like first. We might have to add a little bit more water to keep it from burning. Yeah, let's do that. Just a little bit from this big monster. Yep, there we go. Let's give that a couple more minutes, shall we? I think it's done. Oh, it looks warm. Let's go with the taste test. I think it's good the way it is, personally. But what the heck, let's throw some brown sugar in there. Let's see what that does. Wow. The brown sugar kind of bumped it up a notch. This is good. This is really good. Hey, thanks for the gift, Karl. This is going to make an excellent freaking breakfast. If you get a chance, that bite was real good. If you get a chance, please check out Karl's channel. It's Karl's Outdoors Adventures. I was sitting here relaxing, and I noticed we got some drippage right here. Yeah, I think we got a leak somewhere. Another one. I don't know if it's that or somewhere further up. Yep, see, there's a couple drips on the ground cloth or the floor pan. So that's another one we're going to find. Okay, so the plans for now is I got a mess from heck to clean up here. And the sun is almost on top of the dome, and it's going to start getting kind of warming. So I need to kick on the ventilation system, get that front door the rest of the way open, and I think I'm going to drag that cot out, dry it up before I pack it away. It's about 59 degrees out with a very strong freaking wind. But having the cot sit in the sunlight for 30 minutes has completely dried it out, and now we can put it away. You do not want to put any of your camping gear away wet. It's just a bad thing. Even though it's 59 degrees outside and windy, inside the dome it was 70 degrees, and that's with the sun hitting about half of it right now. It looks like we got a low of 52 last night, and then the high is 76, and I think that's when I put the gauge in there yesterday in the afternoon when the sun hit it. So this dome gets hot really freaking fast. That's why I need to get some ventilation going. I've got everything taken out of the dome, packed in the Mountaineer for the long drive to the front door. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Pulled the floor pan out, hosed it down real good, tried to get all the mud off of it. We're going to let the sun and wind dry it before I pack it up. I think we got another storm front coming in. It's starting to cloud up again, and the winds are starting to pick up. Friends, thanks for joining me on the overnight in camp lockdown. You got to make the best of a bad situation, and I did. I found out quite a bit. I got some more pinholes to fix. And hopefully the next overnight we'll be in the teepee somewhere out in the woods. Comments are more than welcome. And like always, friends, thanks for watching.